Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Liverpool win 2-0 at the Emirates against Arsenal in the FA Cup. Arsenal are in crisis. Liverpool's season becomes more and more exciting. They've got the Carabao Cup semi-final on Wednesday. They're still in the FA Cup. They've got the Europa League and they're top of the Premier League. Contrast that with Arsenal. Their last 3 games, they've only scored 1 goal, and 2 of those games have been at the Emirates. West Ham, Fulham and Liverpool, 1 goal. It's not good enough. I thought Arsenal in the first half looked really good. In the first 20 minutes, I thought they looked really good, the same as they did at Anfield just before Christmas. But there's a confidence problem there. There's a creativity problem there. They need a striker. That's absolutely evident. And I do worry about Arsenal because I guarantee you will not be able to move for a certain element of Arsenal fan who starts going, Arteta, this is what I mean, Arteta. And I would say to those people, as somebody who's seen what Arteta's done to Arsenal over the last few years, he's taken a club that was on its knees to actually being in the top 4, to actually being in title races. To actually think your Arteta out movement's actually going to go anywhere is incredible. But you might be the problem at your football club because unlike Manchester United, where it's the Glazers, recruitment, etc., Arsenal are in a good place. You're in a good place. You're just not as good as Liverpool. You're not as good as Man City, but you're in a good place. Are you going to tear that down by creating a toxicity in your fan base that, undermines your manager and the team that he's trying to build? I get the frustration. I get the disappointment, but I'd rather be in Arsenal's position than Man United's position. I look at that Arsenal side and they did very well at Anfield. They did very well tonight. I think they look tired. I think they need investment. I don't think they're anywhere near got the options that Liverpool have got in the midfield or Man City have got in attack. I still think I don't think Ben White at right back works. I don't think he's a right back. I don't think you've really got a left back. I think you need somebody in next to Declan Rice and you need a striker. And I said this last week. So to me, Arteta, you still need a striker, you still need number 8, and you still need 2 fullbacks anyway. So what are you putting it on the manager for? You need investment. You look at that game, you can't score goals. You can't score goals because you haven't, Havertz. How many good chances did Havertz have today? And in the second half, I don't know what Arsenal were doing. They just seemed to lack belief and you could see the confidence draining from them. I think Saka represents Arsenal really well at the moment. He just doesn't look anywhere near the player he can be. And there's a real fatigue to Arsenal and they're sort of limping towards what? I don't think they've got a game for a couple of weeks now, and I think they need that break. And it'll be very interesting what they're like. I don't think they play for 2 weeks now. I might have that wrong, but I don't think they're playing next weekend in the Premier League. So I think they've got a 2-week break now. That could be massive for them, but it could also be massive in relation to what they can do in the transfer market. Because if there's any money there, go and get Ivan Toney. It's so obvious you need a striker. As for Liverpool, look, strength to strength. I thought the double substitution from Jurgen Klopp when he brought the young lads on with 15 minutes to go was what we predicted before the game. And I said, that's basically stick or twist. That's twist. That is like 15 minutes to go against Arsenal at the Emirates. You wouldn't normally make a double substitution like that. But I think he was like, you know what? I don't want a replay. I want a goal in this game. And I want it to preferably go to us. But if it goes to them, this is the game. And Klopp basically in the second half had that attitude. I think Arsenal thought they'd just keep going and hopefully get a goal. But Klopp, from half-time to the end of the game in the second half, basically was trying to open up the game. And I think for about half an hour, certainly 15, 20 minutes before the goal, you felt Liverpool were going to get the goal because the pattern of the game, because Liverpool were being ambitious, was allowing Liverpool to create more. And Liverpool's defence stepped up in the second half as well. Konate deserved man of the match. But this season for Liverpool, I don't think many people predicted it. And that's why I was saying very, very early on, what he's done in that midfield is incredible because they've got so many options in there. No Endo today. Didn't start Gravenberch. Szoboszlai wasn't there. So it was McAllister, Jones and Harvey Elliott. And they're able to compete. They're able to compete against good teams when he rotates that midfield. And it makes a massive amount of difference. No Salah, no Van Dijk today. They had to ride it a little bit in the first half. I think Arsenal were the better team in the first half, but Arsenal can't score goals. And it's always a game of two halves. Liverpool were the better team in the second half. Arsenal were the better team in the first half. Liverpool scored 2 goals. Arsenal scored no goals. And goals win games. And you look at what Liverpool could achieve this season, and you look at what Arsenal could achieve this season. And Arsenal are still in a title race, but I don't think anyone thinks they're going to do it. Arsenal are still in the Champions League, and I don't think anyone thinks they're going to do it. They've got to dust themselves down, Arsenal, because to win something this year, they're going to have to win one of 2 very, very, very hard trophies to win. Whereas Liverpool, Carabao Cup semi-final against Fulham, still in the FA Cup, Europa League, you know, they'd be one of the favourites, and they're top of the league at the moment. You'd be surprised if Liverpool didn't get at least one piece of silverware this season now, and they've put themselves in that position through the work they've done collectively through Jurgen Klopp as well. Arsenal, you'd be saying, well, look, let's do it as a percentage. I'd say there's a 75% chance that Liverpool are going to win a trophy. I'd say there's a 20% chance that Arsenal will, maybe even less, because they've got to win the Champions League or the Premier League. So, yeah, it's disappointing. And the thing is, as well, I think Arsenal really did take this seriously today. Like, they really did. They're at home. They picked a strong side. I think they definitely took it seriously. In fact, the only real change you could probably say was that he played Reece Nelson and Ramsdale in the... he put Ramsdale in goal. And, you know, you're entitled to do that in the FA Cup. But, look, Arsenal need to be active in this transfer window. And if they don't, then I suspect that it's going to be a disappointing end to the season where they're just going to be looking at Champions League qualification. Liverpool probably don't need to do anything in the January transfer window, and it's about what they can achieve from all the trophies that they're still in. But I would urge, look, it doesn't really matter to me. But I think Arsenal fans are barking up the wrong tree if they're going after the manager. I think the recruitment of Liverpool in key areas has given them a very balanced squad and a lot of options. Arsenal haven't even got a fucking striker. I would argue they haven't even got a striker. Jesus is not a striker. He's not clinical enough. And Nketiah, as I said, would not start for Everton. So Arsenal do not have a striker. They don't have a right back. They don't have a left back. And Havertz isn't working, so their midfield isn't balanced. And those areas need to be resolved. I find it incredible that people think Arsenal can win this league. You look at Man City and the options and experience and quality they've got. Look at Liverpool and the options they've got. And then look at Arsenal. They are the weakest 3 squad balance-wise. And that's probably why they'll finish 3rd. But look, you know what? I think the FA Cup's not been too bad this weekend, and I certainly think that game was a good one to watch, and that's what we want from the FA Cup. So get your comments in below. What are you thinking about Arsenal for the rest of the season? Do you think the shit that Arteta's about to get is fair, or do you think it's just a lack of footballing knowledge, which I think it is? I think that Arsenal are still a work in progress. If last season for Arsenal was overachieving, and it was, nobody predicted Arsenal were going to be in a title race last year, and they did. This year, they're in the top 4 again. I still think they're a work in progress, and it amazes me how impatient some fans can be. On the flip side to that, the way that Jurgen Klopp has took Liverpool from last year to where they are now, I mean, he's a great manager, but what he's done is amazing as well. Get your comments in. What do you think Liverpool can achieve this season, and what do you think Arsenal can achieve? And do you think that the Arteta pile-on is right? Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you on the next one.